A huge thank you to our sponsors at InQ Hive. They're now open at Howe Mills, Basingstoke, with everything for freelancers, small and growing businesses, from virtual office and postbox services, hot desks, dedicated desks and serviced offices, plus amazing business support. Find out more at inqhive.co.uk. Hey, just imagine that instead of saying what I'm saying now, I was talking about your business, or perhaps you were talking about your business. You can advertise on About Basingstoke's podcast network for less than you might think. Just email info@aboutbasingstoke.com to find out more.
Good afternoon, this is Chris Cloke and this is Cloke Cooks, and I'm absolutely delighted. I'm thrilled and honoured to be joined by Steven Saunders, famous chef, celebrity chef. Steven, I've been with you all day. I feel like I live here now with you, and we've been doing a cooking school. We've been cooking and talking food, and food for you, it's a passion, it's your life, it's everything. I always sort of talk to people, obviously, in my podcast about food and how they got into food, and obviously your story, how you fell into food, is unbelievable. We could probably do this in 10 minutes, but we're going to probably do the shorter version. But how did you get into food? Because I think it's important, obviously, people that are passionate about food learn how to go the right way. In Basingstoke, we've got a college called Basingstoke College of Technology, and they do great catering, obviously schools, and at the moment some of the children from there have had the opportunity to go to Thailand to obviously experience. So when you started out chefing, how was it for you? How did you fall into it?
Well, it was my mother, who was a fantastic home cook. She wasn't a professional cook, but she was a great home cook, and she actually created a business where she looked after other restaurants and hotels, doing food like pastries, desserts, things like that for them. Yeah. Because she was so good, and people used to come round to the house to pick the desserts up, and she would go out and put them into the back of the car. And I said, "Oh my God, Mum, these are fantastic. I mean, how do you make this? Why? Yeah. How? What the hell? How did you create this fantastic thing?" And she just said, "Well, it's my life." My mother was half French, so my grandmother was French. So effectively, it's embedded into the French. Yes. And I guess that I was brought up making bread when I was 5.
Yes.
I was involved with cooking. My father had a construction company. It was doing really well. He had a lot of entertaining, and my mother used to do the entertaining. I helped my mum to do the food for the dinners. Yeah. And I used to stand on the mantelpiece and play guitar and sing. I mean, as well as help her cook, because I was a bit of a character. And so, no, I mean, I got passionately involved when I was young. And when I was about, I don't know, what was I, 15? I went to the careers officer, as you do in school. Yeah. And they said, "What do you want to be?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to be an actor, and I'd also like to be a singer." Yeah. And they said, "Well, can you sing?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I try." Yeah. And they said, "Well, if you really want a job, you've got to do something that you can guarantee." Yes. And I don't think you can guarantee yourself as a singer, can you? I went, "Well, I'm pretty good." "No, you can't." Right.
There was no X Factor back then, was there?
No, definitely not. And can you guarantee you can get work as an actor? Yeah. I went, "Well, no, of course not." And they said, "Well, then you need something else." So I said, "Well, the only other thing I can do is I love food and I can cook." Yes. And they said, "Well, that sounds more like it. Stick to that. Why don't you go to catering college?" And that's why I'm here. I started cooking, and then I went to Savoy in London, which is a very famous hotel.
Yes.
I did remarkably well. I mean, I moved up the ranks really quickly because I'm passionate about what I do and I'm good at what I do. And I thought, well, I'm doing the right thing. My father always said, "Yeah, this is the right thing for you. You know, you've got the skills, you've got the passion." Actually, you mentioned passion with food is so important. I mean, if you haven't got passion, you can't really cook because it's got to come from the heart. So you've got to really believe in what you're doing, but not just that. You've got to have some kind of, when you're cooking something, you've got to really, wow, this is wonderful, this is beautiful. Yeah. If you're not feeling that, then it's probably not wonderful. Yeah. And so I always felt that what I was doing was beautiful, and therefore it kept me alive. You know, I was thinking I was doing the right thing. And I think the training at the Savoy was fantastic, and it got me on the ladder.
It's one of those things. I think it's a lot of people don't realise it's a hard thing to get into, and it's the hours and it's the dedication. Yeah, and I think when you get to sort of your level and at any sort of reasonable level, you've got to put the hours in, and you've got to obviously have the passion. I think having the passion, the desire, and the work ethic, because you can't sort of just swan about in the kitchen. It's passionate. And one of the things we were talking today when we've been cooking, it's a hot environment.
Yeah,
it's absolutely hot.
It's very hot over here at the moment anyway, which,
Yeah.
as you know, it's 40-odd degrees in Spain. We're in Spain. And today Chris has attended my cookery school. I don't know whether we mentioned that, but it's like this is a cookery school up in the hills, overlooking the Cala, but looking at the hills. And it's beautiful. And we grow a lot of stuff here.
Yes.
So how could you not have passion when we have so many things we grow, so many fresh vegetables,
Yeah.
so many fresh herbs, and also all the fruits, the bananas, you saw the bananas, the mangoes, the papayas. You know, there's so much going on here. And in the winter, we grow much more because at the moment it's intense heat and
Yeah.
you can't really grow much. So with all that, I brought my life into kind of, if you like, into a parallel with everything that I wanted to do, which was food. I love food. I love entertaining. I like people. And that was easy for me to fall into that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I did it. I kind of always wanted to sing.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to act. But then years later, you know, I started to do things like Ready, Steady, Cook, which was
Yes.
everybody knows.
Everybody knows Ready, Steady, Cook.
I did a few other shows, but they don't know them so well. So Ready, Steady, Cook is probably the best one to mention. It's like, okay, I'm on Ready, Steady, Cook, and I'm a great kind of food enthusiast,
Yeah.
but I'm also a presenter and I can act. So, yeah, I went to acting school as well. So, you know, I've done a lot of stuff.
Done a lot.
And I feel that when I was cooking, I always felt, well, I could act and I could sing. And my father always said to me, no, you can't. You can, but you
The
can't.
singing chef. It's
It became, didn't it?
it is. That's the thing. Absolutely.
And he said, no, stick to food, stick to food, stick to food. And I went, yeah, I will, I can.
Yeah.
And I can be a brilliant chef. And I've, you know, the restaurant we've got here, we were sitting here up in the hills of La Cala, which is in Mijas in Spain, in southern Spain. And my restaurant is in the top 25 restaurants in
yeah,
Spain.
which is phenomenal. And it's one of those things. I've been to a lot of restaurants. We were talking about food earlier. Michelin star restaurants, and the food that you serve here is Michelin star, but not Michelin star prices. But what I love about it is local produce in season, and it's done well, and it's a wonderful thing. And we've cooked lots of food today, and we were just discussing everyone can cook, no matter what level. Everyone can learn how to do a recipe, and it's always the sort of giving it a go. Giving it a go. Do you know what? We can always say, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyone can do that, but if you give it a go, then you'll know. And you practice at something, you get better and better and better. And I think that's...
What did you enjoy most out of the day today?
Today, being with people that are passionate about food and watching you at work. And obviously as a budding chef, and I love my food, seeing someone obviously like yourself that's passionate and knows his food and knows his craft, it's an absolute joy. And I think that's what we need more.
Which dish did you really prefer out of all the things we did? Because we did quite a lot of stuff.
Quite a lot of food. I liked all of them. I could literally, I did. And the beef Wellington was stunning.
The beef Wellington, but we did the lobster.
The lobster as well, and
fantastic, I thought.
even like I'm not a dessert person, but the fact being obviously the baked Alaska people, obviously everyone knows obviously like a sort of 80s, 70s style baked Alaska, obviously
Yeah,
done it a different
modernised,
way,
yeah.
modernised, and it's beautiful. It's a great, just great dishes.
Well,
And
it's Italian meringue, which is not difficult.
yeah,
But you build it with some homemade ice cream. It doesn't have to be homemade, by the way.
yeah,
And then suddenly you pipe it on there and you blowtorch it, which is a modern way of doing it. And it's a blooming lovely dish to eat.
absolutely. And that's the thing. I think it's more people should give desserts a go. And I'll put my hand up. I need to give more desserts a go. I'm a very sort of cheese and pork sort of kind of guy. I don't give myself credit that I'm a cook of dessert. And I think at the moment I was talking with a good lady wife the other day, and we were talking about desserts. People just buy desserts off the shelf.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Where I think that
But you can do something like the baked Alaska.
you can do it.
It's really easy.
It's easy.
Actually, I just said to the team that we had today, the school we had today, the sponge, you don't have to make it. You can buy sponge.
Yeah.
You've got to cut a piece of sponge. You've got to put a ice cream,
Yeah.
which you could buy.
Yeah.
And then you pipe this Italian meringue, which is pretty easy to make. And I showed you how to do that.
Absolutely.
So why couldn't you do it? In other words, you don't need to buy. And when you buy, you don't really know what you're buying anyway. There's so many additives and everything nowadays.
And that's the thing. I think more people, we need to look at obviously the ingredients on what you're buying, and obviously be aware.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when you've got 30 ingredients and you can't pronounce or read any of them,
Well, you don't understand what they are.
you don't understand what they are. And that's the thing. I think more people should obviously go back to obviously nature in a way. Obviously, look at what you're doing, and I reckon obviously start doing sort of retro dishes. your 70s, 80s, like baked Alaska, and obviously something simple, really. I think
Yeah, well,
more
baked
people should
Alaska
give it a
was
go.
just a choice I made today, but there's loads more. I mean, we do a thing, a chocolate mousse, for example, which is a fantastic chocolate mousse
Yeah.
with cherries, because cherries are in season.
Yeah.
And chocolate mousse and cherries is fantastic, as long as the chocolate mousse is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think we do things like that. So the school is very, well, it's become well known. I've been doing it 45 years. So, I mean, it's, and here in Spain, they love it because we're up here in the hills.
Up here in the hills, it's
We've
just,
got the pool, we've got the barbecue kitchen.
and it's just a great environment. And it's,
Yeah.
if you're into your food, and obviously cookery schools, and you do get a chance to come to obviously Spain, I would highly recommend obviously going to the Geranium in La Cala and come to see Steve, and obviously recommend, say my name. I'm sure he'll sort your drink out, but I think it's one of those places, obviously, come to Spain, and I think a lot of people think of Spain, they just think of just standard tapas, where here, it's a lot more. There's a lot more to it.
There's certainly a lot more to it. We, being the top 25 restaurants in Spain isn't about just turning out some tapas. It's about being innovative. It's about being creative. It's about being passionate. We grow a lot of stuff here, more so in the winter. In the winter, we grow pretty much all the herbs and a load of the vegetables. And I think that the thing is about what real great food is about is localized. So if I can grow here, and it's only 2 kilometers from my restaurant, and then you've got the most freshest, beautiful food. And I think also with the fish, because we're in Andalusia, the fish is so fresh, and we can buy it from the coast, and we do. I get a Fengaroro and buy it from a Fengaroro. It's fantastic.
And that's what it's down to.
I think it is.
It's in season, local produce. So
beautiful produce.
That's what you need.
Fresh clams, fresh seafood, fresh oysters, fresh scallops, all of that stuff we've got on our doorstep. And so, I think that we've got
the right balance. The
right balance, and also with meat. I mean, we've got meat, Toledo or places like that.
Thank you so much.
Just a second.
Just 1 second.
This is a school.
We're just doing a quick.
This is a school.
All the tea tips we right with you.
So, no, I think that we've got a great. Spain is a fantastic country for growing beautiful produce and certainly for fish, and that's what we're making the most of.
That's what it's all about. Stephen, thank you so much for that. And this is obviously Chris Cloke for Cloke Cooks, and I've been with Steven Saunders today at the Geranium Cooking School. Thank you so much, Stephen.
My pleasure to have you today at the Cookery School. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, then. Cheers.
The Inspire Business Awards are back for 2026 and nominations are now open. But you've got to be quick because they close on the 31st of July. Find out about the categories and how to enter at destinationbasingstoke.co.uk. Remember, you've only got until July the 31st.